Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Silly Girl Carbon. We are back for a new episode of Wonderful, and I'm happy to be sitting here talking with Rissa Garcia. How are you doing today?
I'm wonderful, pun intended.
Yes, good. I really got to meet you very briefly just in transition this year at Charvari. So I'm happy we got to connect and now we're getting to actually put you on the platform. How was your Charvari experience?
Oh, it was actually pretty wonderful, actually. Not to use the word again, but it was amazing. Like the weather worked out perfectly, the scenic views, the family style fun barbecue setting. Like it didn't feel like one of those big stage festivals where it's kind of not so intimate and you're disconnected. This felt much more like vibe friendly. Like everybody
Yeah,
was so like warm and welcoming. It was, yeah, really cool.
that's
Like
great.
some of
Yeah.
those big things can be a little bit overwhelming and you're disconnected from the people, but this felt very like just like you're in it with everybody.
Exactly. Nice. That's very cool. Yeah, and I can say you definitely had the vibe going before I got on. So people and so much good feedback throughout the weekend. They were like, "Oh yeah," or people were asking me, "Who was the girl before you, the woman before you?" And I was like, "Right." She was like, so that's always good when somebody comes in and it works well with the new audience and stuff. So good job at yours as well.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, they were really awesome. They were up for just like whatever. So it just makes it everything easier when the crowd is into what you're doing. So
Exactly.
definitely had a great time.
Nice. So I want to kick this off as I'm getting to know you a little more this year myself. I know you've been doing this for a while. How long have you been a DJ and what inspired your start when you first got started?
I say professionally since about 2014 when you start playing the real venues and with the real big names and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I started out, in the little lounges and in friends' houses and starting to learn basically 2004.
Hmm.
What inspired me was going to a club called Vinyl with Danny Tenaglia, and he was the resident DJ every Friday. And like the same group of people would go. Of course, you always had new heads too, but majority of the people knew everybody because they would go every weekend. So it's like a family affair,
Hmm.
which is my preference when it comes to parties. Is I like the whole familiar vibe where you see the familiar faces, you know what to expect. It's a consistency thing.
Hmm.
And that comes with resident DJs, which sadly is missing today. Anyway, so I started going, it was just about partying with friends at that time. And once I went to vinyl, like something changed. It was like, oh, wow, like this completely changed my life, my direction, everything. Like I was in college at the time and I was like, well, I wasn't really paying attention to school anymore. I was like, I think I have to do this. So I bought some records, and at this time it was vinyl only. So thankfully I had some friends, my friend Carlos, my friends that I used to spin at the time. They had setups and I began to practice and learn with them, and that was it. I got hooked.
Nice. Love that. Well, very cool. And it's good to see see that you've been sticking with it, progressing, and you've leveled up through these years because it's always interesting being somewhat newer, looking at other people like, oh, well, what is the track record or what is the timeline for DJs? It could be a lot of different things. Some people spike
Right.
at like a really high level, and then sometimes it's like build that legacy and then you pop off and become legendary from your city and stuff like that. So it's very, very cool to meet people that have been doing it for a long time and started on vinyl and have all this history. So I love that.
Yeah, I mean, when I was going to vinyl, like it was people like Honey Dijon that were opening DJs at the time. So
Mm,
I've seen Honey Dijon from the trenches dig her way out to where she is now, and it's just absolutely amazing. So I guess I have
right.
the same kind of similar thing where you dig your way up, you make your way through the ranks, and you do it that way instead of going out buying your fancy PR packages and then immediate success, but then it's also a quick decline because it's hard to maintain the
Right.
content, the marketing, and all that unless you have that bank account to keep it going. So, I
Exactly.
feel like the legends that have a legacy, that's what it's built on, that grind, that
Hmm.
consistency, that familiarity. You know that name, you know what you're going to get with that name. So
Yes. Nice, nice.
Hopefully, we'll get to Honey Dijon, but we'll see.
Hey, at least you're keeping it going and the passion is there. That's what's important, on the journey always.
Always,
Um,
yes.
so I actually was not even aware that you had so many records of your own, which I always love to see when people have music, because that's a whole nother ball game. I wanted to ask you about your record label, Night Child Records. What sparked you starting a label? What's any advice? Maybe anything you could share on, starting your own label. What's in that for you? And
for me, it's just about an outlet to get music out for people like me who are, basically you're just learning as you go. You're not a professional musician, but it's decent enough that it should be out and heard on the dance floors. And there's a lot of people that don't have access to labels and stuff like that. So I try to reach out to people that aren't known and just kind of welcome them in and take it step by step with them.
Nice. When did you first establish the label? When did you?
I think it was around 2007, 2008. And then it started with a group of friends. And, like I said, we were just needing an outlet to release our music that we were doing at the time. And basically, it was everybody that I knew firsthand from Staten Island, which is where I'm from.
Okay.
And a few people from Brooklyn. So it was all local artists. And I think I took a break around 2011 just to focus on DJing and stuff like that, because obviously too many hats is a lot to wear. So I just put it down for a minute, and then I relaunched around 2014 or somewhere around then.
Okay, cool.
Got a new logo done, and just trying to keep it going.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. Yeah, I was, like I said, as I was digging around more, looking at your background and stuff, I'm like, you have a lot of releases, and I was listening and they sound amazing. So congrats on that.
Yeah, I'm not one of those people that play their music. I get sick of it, so it's like, oh, okay.
No, I'm the same way. People are like, why didn't you play your own song? I'm like, I don't know. I found new stuff that I like,
Exactly. It's not about me. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's like, yeah, in this day and age, that's another thing of like, you go see your favorite DJs and they've got these records you want to hear. So like, push your records. But,
yeah,
it depends.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like, I have a party here called Dancing Room Only. Okay. And we had Sandy Rivera, Kings of Tomorrow. And, everybody was waiting for that moment when he would play finally. And he finally did. And it was like towards the end of the night. And it was just a moment, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
I'm sure he probably heard that song 1,001 times. But,
right.
The people love it. And that's what they want to hear. So
that's how it goes.
It worked well.
So yeah, going back to all your music releases, do you have any faves, any favorite releases that you've done of your own?
I do, but it's not out yet, and I can't really talk about it. But
okay.
Maybe it'll come up soon.
Okay.
Not yet, actually, because I feel like I'm getting like better and better with each one as I learn more about musicality and music theory and the stuff that I should have learned. But
yeah,
you do it your own way and you try to do it the best you can. But I'm trying to study more about the professional side of things, and I feel like I'm getting more closer to what I play in terms of my tracks. But I really can't think of anything that stands out for me personally that I enjoy. For me, they're all cringy.
I know that feeling. You look back, you're like, oh, why did I put that out?
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I understand, and I give people credit because being an artist or creative, I feel like it's a powerful thing to go ahead and put yourself out there wherever you're at. Because say if you waited all those years and you were like, I'm never gonna put anything out, you would just be getting your foot going today, and that's like, why? It's like it's good. It's people get to see progress.
Exactly.
They'll follow you. So that's really important, and I give people props for doing that because I've been in the same boat. I'm like, I don't want to put it out. Is it good? But you gotta get it going,
We are our own worst critics. So for me, like David DePino told me, like Larry Levan would always just want to keep doing the record over and over again. Like, just stop, put it out, let it get the crowd feedback and see what the dance floor says. That's the true test.
And it's like you gotta keep it. Yeah, you gotta keep it rolling. Let that one live. Okay, go now, make your next best thing.
Exactly, because we could hear it 1,000 times and want to do something different every time. So we'll never finish if we
Exactly.
had it our way.
Right. So what has been like keeping you going, keeping you a student, or what resources, get you in your creative process or progressing in that way?
I still go out and dance when I can, so being on
Hmm.
the dance floor is a huge thing. When I go here, like my favorite DJs, Danny Krivit, Tenaglia, Vega. I'm from New York, so I'm a little spoiled.
Yeah.
We have the greats here. So that's what inspires me. It's just being a dancer. That's where I'm from. That's where I originated from.
Hmm.
And that's what I will continue to do.
Nice. Love that. That's definitely important. So now knowing, I know you had played in Detroit prior to Charvari as well, right?
Yeah, I played with Francois K. I did Motor City Wine, my first trip.
Yes.
I did Francois at Marble Bar and Tangent Gallery.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Francois twice. Okay, yes.
Okay, nice. So knowing you have some experience with the vibes here in Detroit, what are some differences or similarities between the house scenes in New York versus Detroit? Like what do you take from both scenes?
I'm not sure because it all depends on which crowd you're playing for. Like New York can be just as finicky and picky as Detroit can be.
Mm-hmm.
So, as well as you have crowds that could care less about the music and they're just there to watch.
Yeah.
So I don't really think it's different. So I just do what I do. I keep that New York City vibe. I take it with me
Nice.
wherever I go.
Okay,
I
great.
bring New York wherever I go, pretty much.
Okay, okay. If somebody was visiting New York and really wanted to have like a great house music experience, where are some places that you think are like go-tos usually for a good night of house music in New York?
See, that's the difference. New York now is it's not as consistent when it comes to house music. Like you can't just go to
Okay.
any particular party and venue and be like, oh, okay, I know I'm going to hear house music tonight. It's not like that
Gotcha.
anymore. It's not
Mm,
like we have Cielo where, you're going to hear house music whether you go Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
mm.
So for me, it's all about the parties. 718 Sessions is my absolute favorite. That's where I go. I know I'm going to dance the entire night. That's like one of the last classic New York City vibe parties where
Okay.
it's gay, straight, black, white, old, young. Of course, they recently just had the Paradise Garage reunion, which is amazing. Every year, you see these older generation people singing and dancing their hearts out. So I try to make that every year.
Nice.
Um, of course, you have the classic shelter parties. And then you have great rooms like Public Records, Jolene, Good Room,
Hmm.
where, depending on the DJ and the night, you could hear great house music on a great sound system. But they also do a lot of acid, techno, and stuff like that. So it's not just house music.
Got it. Got it. Well, thank you. You dropped some gems that I'm definitely gonna be able to look up. Some of those party series that maybe I wasn't hip to. So thank you
Oh,
for
yeah, for
that. It's
sure.
always good to know people, when you're from somewhere, it's like, well, what do you like? Being from there. It's always important to know.
Yeah, well, since I've been here since I started in the late 90s, I'm pretty particular. So I
Okay.
love that old classic vibe with the mix of crowd, the old, the white, the black. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. That's what I like to
Love
see.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, the family cookout vibes.
Yes, definitely. Well, thank you so much for coming on here and answering some of our questions. And I got a chance to start listening to your mix. I'm loving it. And I know everybody's going to love it when they tune in. So thank you so much. And I hope to connect with you soon, whether it be
Yeah,
Detroit,
come
New
to New
York,
York
wherever.
again, of
Yes.
course. You got to hit a 718 sessions or something.
Yes.
All right. Thank you for
Thank
having me. It
you.
was great meeting you. Thank
You
you.
too.